When I grow up, I want to be a midwife.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching the video from. My name is Princess Lukhele. I am the founder of the Hands of Love NGO. Because we are on lockdown, we've decided that we're going to start recording some of the sessions that we usually have with the girls. Who is Hands of Love? If you've never heard of us, we're an NGO that is based in Cape Town. We work with girls that are vulnerable. We work with girls that are growing up, that are needing support, that need coaching, counseling, and all of that. So the NGO was founded in 2012 by myself, and she's grown to be a big baby. So why are we doing these videos? We're doing these videos to ensure that we're still getting the message out there, but not only to the girls now, but to anybody else that is wanting to hear the message that we are sending across. Who am I? My name is Princess Lukhele, and I was born and bred in Ermelo in Mpumalanga, such a beautiful province, and I am IT specialist by profession. I hold a BBA degree as well as a master's degree in business administration. I am the founder of this NGO. I am a businesswoman, and I am also a speaker. I've been working with girls for a while, and through working with them, we've learned that there is a lot of need in ensuring that the mindset for all young people, especially growing up here in South Africa, I mean, of course, also around the world, that the mental capacity is nurtured, and this is something that is not happening. So we work with a trio. Usually with the teacher, the parent, as well as the child. You know, the teachers are bringing the academic bit to the children, and we bring in the maturity part of it.
Just want to jump into our topic for today. The question that I'm asking today is, does our environment influence who we are? And if so, how? You know, I think our environment does influence who we are to a great extent, because we are who we are based on the family that we grew up in, the community that we grew up in, the things that we grew up seeing, you know, so we cannot deny that. But I am of the belief that who you choose to become is up to you. So I'm always stressing the point when I'm having sessions with the girls, when we hold the workshops at the various schools that we work with here in Cape Town, that we hold the future with our hands. No one can live your life for you. It's all in your hands. Your parents have done their job in raising you up and ensuring that you are becoming an adult. You know, the choices that you're making now are choices that you're going to have to deal with later in life, which is why it's important that you make better choices with your life. Right? So before I dive into what my thoughts are in regards to the topic, I just want to share a bit of a background of where I come from. So I come from Mpumalanga, a beautiful province here in South Africa.
So, in a typical township with all the challenges and disadvantages that every township comes with, you know. The only different thing, well, I feel I had about myself was that I wanted to be different. I wanted to get out of there because it was, you know, it was pretty dry. You know, we didn't really have people that we could look up to, people that were making it. You know, I used to watch a lot of TV, which is where I got a lot of influence in terms of the life that I want to live. I knew that as soon as I finish my matric, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go to Johannesburg to study, you know. And I was always the different child amongst my friends because I was always the one that is staying indoors. I was uncool. I was the serious one, basically, you know. And I'm glad that I was the different one because God had a better had a better plan for my life, you know. So I grew up in a family with 7 kids, in a 4-bedroom house. 4-bedroom, I mean 2 bedrooms for my parents, 1 bedroom was for my parents and 1 bedroom was for the children, meaning all 7 of us had to share that room. Very trying times. We were not rich at all. I think you could classify us as poor, but I think those circumstances of seeing the environment and my family life, I knew that I had to turn things around. So my dream was to ensure that I turn their life around, and I'm going to share a little bit more maybe in upcoming videos about my family and my siblings and what it is that we do and what it is that we stand for. So growing up in such an environment, obviously there's not a lot of people that one can look up to besides your teachers, that you can say, oh my goodness, she's made it. Which is why I am so passionate about going back to the schools and say to the girls and saying that, look, I come from the same environment that you're in, but I managed to make it, you know, because there's a lot of challenges within disadvantaged communities, you know. For one, to have a meal at night is a blessing, you know. I know my mom and my dad did a lot in ensuring that we went to school clothed and that we slept with food in our tummies, but it was not easy, you know. There were things that I for one wanted to have that our parents couldn't afford, you know. But I never looked at that and said, okay, now I'm gonna start feeling sorry for myself. But that actually pushed me to become the person that I am. So I studied harder than my friends. I studied harder because I knew that for me to get out of this environment, it meant I must stay in my books, and that's what I did until I got to matrics and moved on to university, you know. And since then life had been different, but that was based on the choices that I made, you know. Yes, I can't deny that I come from an environment that was, you know, full of violence, full of clubs, you know, like everybody wanted to go and dance, everybody was, you know, sleeping with boys early. But I didn't make those choices, because at the end of the day, you can decide to be part of that environment or you can choose to be different, and I chose to be different. So yes, our environment influences us. For me, it influenced me in a sense that because we never had, you know, food that was in abundance. For instance, when I go and buy food, I always buy a lot of food, you know. I mean, right now it's just me and my son, but I think because of the fact that we never had mentally, I'm like, I never want to run out, right? And I mean, it influenced us in a lot of ways, and so I'm just making an example, but also in terms of how you relate to people as well, because I didn't grow up in an environment where money was in abundance, you know. So every rand that I get, it needs to be accounted for. So I'm very cautious with how I use my money. I'm cautious with, you know, with savings, because I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be...
Yeah. Coming back to the topic, I was still saying that, you know, sometimes most of us are angry. We're angry for our environments, we're angry at our parents, we're angry at the government for the circumstances that we live in. We can't really blame everyone, you know. Our parents are responsible to ensure that we get to an age where we're able to make decisions for ourselves, you know. I think from a young age, as a toddler, bakulisi until you become a teenager, you know. From there, you start making choices of your own, right? If you're deciding to go, or if you're deciding to go and party until the morning, you can't now go and blame your parents for that. Perhaps your parents were doing that, but at the end of the day, you are of a sound mind to start making decisions for yourself, for your life. I think we need to stop with the blaming game. You know, we are blaming everybody around us without blaming us without looking in to see where you are going wrong. I always say a life without a plan, a life without goals, a life without dreams really is a hopeless life, because why are you even waking up in the morning? What makes you wake up when it's cold, when people are sleeping, which is again why we're finding a lot of unemployment, elokshini, or rather people that are not even looking into starting their own businesses. I'm of a belief that one is able to change their circumstances if they want to. When you need to dust yourself off and say, and think outside the box, and start seeking help, without blaming or without wanting a handout, because sometimes we want a whole lot of handouts. Handouts are not always going to be there. And also the problem with handouts is you don't take care of them. People really take better care of things that they worked for than things that were handed out to them. Right? And I think the other thing that people are not accountable. We need to start being accountable for our own lives. You cannot be giving accountability to your mom or to your teacher or to anyone else. You need to be accountable for your own life. It's your life after all. Remember, God brought you on earth for a reason. You have talents, you have skills, you have a lot to share with the world, and it's up to you that you ensure in doing that. But how do you do that? By the choices that you start making. Of course, I'm of the belief that our environment influences us, but who we become is all up to us. So to everybody out there, to the teenagers, to the teachers, anyone that this message might be getting to, let us start finding a way to contribute to the world. Let us start asking ourselves the question is, how am I changing the next person's life? But first, how am I changing my life so that I can be able to help or assist the next person? There's a saying that says, a cup that overfloweth is able to assist other people. But if your cup is empty, then how are you filling up that cup? That's a very important thing, and that's where it all starts. It's the choices that you make. It's you taking responsibility for your own life. Yes, I dropped out of school at grade 10. There's other schools, there's online learning, there's a whole lot of information, there's a whole lot of educational facilities that are now put into place to ensure that everybody goes to school. But umuntu ongafuni school and he doesn't want to go to school, and they would always be blaming somebody. So we need to start being responsible for ourselves. We can't blame Ubaba that left you when you were 2. You can't blame your mom that mistreated you. You can't blame, your environment that was not conducive for you to become who you are. Yes, things are not easy. Yes, things are not, we're not born on a silver plate. But at the end of the day, who you become is up to you. How? By taking steps, by getting out of your comfort zone, by asking questions, by, reading, by investigating. I always say, nothing's going to come to you if you don't go to it. So let us all stand up for our own lives and stop blaming other people and stop being angry for things that we shouldn't be angry about. Let us forgive those we need to forgive so that we can move on to our next level of our lives. Guys, I'm going to leave it here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us again and subscribe so that you can get more content.
I think more than anything, at the end of the day, the lesson or the message is that who we become is up to you, entirely up to you. The blaming game, the pointing of fingers to government, to parents, to people around you, to the auntie that raised you, that was harsh to you. Yes, those things may have happened to you, but we need to start using our environment or our situation to fuel us to become the people that we want to become. So anyone that's going through a rough time out there, please do not focus on that. That's not who you are. It doesn't define you. Who you can become is entirely up to you. Look at me. I come from a very poor family, but I made choices, or I used the environment to help me become the person that I am. You can do the same thing with your life as well. There's hope, but it starts with saying you're going to be responsible for yourselves. You're going to make better choices with your life. The Lord brought you line Klaveni for a reason. We're all here for a reason. We're all here. We all have talents. You need to seek out what those talents are. You need to seek out what your mission in life is. You need to start having goals and dreams. I think mostly, especially as Black people, we don't believe in goals and vision boards and all of that, and it starts with those little things, and eventually it starts building up. Remember, the universe listens to what you be, to who you eventually become. So if you don't start planning and start saying positive things about your life, and you're always saying and speaking negative things about other people and about yourself, what do you expect to happen? So we need to be careful about who we are now so that we can be better people tomorrow. And just closing, I just want to say self-discipline is everything. So start jotting down and start planning about where you're wanting to go. If you don't have a plan, you're setting yourself up for failure, because life is just going to happen to you, you know, if you don't start planning for your future, the things you want to do, you know, what you want to study, the business you want to open. You know, you'll never even know, you never even see it, even if it's in front of your eyes, because you don't plan, you don't verbalize it, you don't dream about it. So start putting everything that you're wanting to do on paper, and forgive the people that you need to forgive, so that you don't blame them for what have happened to you. I think a lot of people hold resentment for what happened to them, and they don't look into the future. So I mean, it's 20 years later, you're still stuck in a situation that happened to you 5 years ago. I believe therapy and, you know, going to see a psychologist about things that may have happened to you is very vital, because those people would help you to let go of those things, so that you can start planning for your new life. So thank you so much, guys, for listening today, or for tuning in. But to everybody out there, I just want to encourage you that yes, we were not born with a silver spoon in our mouth, but it doesn't mean we cannot become our best selves. Where does it start? It starts working on yourself inwards, right? And then you start putting everything in paper, and you start taking steps towards what you want, asking questions, learning, signing up for calls, you know, because it's always, they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. Start taking responsibility for your life. Position yourself so that you're ready for the next phase of your life. And let's stop being lazy. Let's stop blaming other people, and let's forgive our past, so that we can move on to the next level of our life. Thank you so much for joining us today. Much love.